Hi, this is Beth Johnston coming to you from remote for the Global Society of Empowered Women, introducing you to one of our fabulous members. Her name is Valerie Bihet. She is from Florida, actually via Paris, France. She is the founder and the president of the Vibe Agency, and I think that name kind of says it all. It tells us a lot about who you are and about your company, the Vibe Agency. So welcome, Valerie. It's so lovely to chat with you again.
Hi, Beth. How are you?
I'm so well and so happy to talk with you again. Enjoy all of our conversations. So I want to get right into this, and because there's so many messages here that you convey to women. You are 20 plus years experience in event management, planning, organization, fulfillment. But prior to that, you had a very successful career in finance. Talk to us a little bit about the decision to go from finance into event planning. What was the thought process, and how did you make that transition?
So all my study, I studied in La Sorbonne in Paris at the university, and I was more in finance because I think I'm a girl who is very pragmatic. I like to understand things and see how it works. And basically, when you work with numbers, it's very straightforward and everything, very mathematic, very organized. And I did an internship in New York, and my boss was telling me, Valerie, you are good with numbers, but you are like a flowers, you know, you are not like the happy flowers and everything. You do your job, but you don't embody your job. And when I take you with my wife, when we have like charity events and everything, you are like another Valerie. So, you know, I think you should think about your career. So I went back to France, finished my degree in finance, and this is when I started to shift in marketing and communication. I started to work with Disney. I was in charge of PR and special events for them. So I did all my class at Euro Disney. We were producing like 20 events per week, and there were 5 of us. So for 5 years, it was 5 very intensive years. And then from there, I moved to Club Med, the vacation company, and I was in charge of public relations worldwide. So this is when my passion for travel started, because I was traveling all over the world to open the resorts, doing public relation and special event for them. And when I was 29 years old, they gave me the opportunity on April 1st. I thought it was a joke at the beginning. Valerie, do you want to take the communication position in United States for Club Med? And I was like, wow, okay, let's go for it. My English was very little, so it was very challenging at the beginning, but how I ended up really in the United States for many years. And then after that, after like 10 years, basically, they asked me to move back to Europe, and I was not very interested. And I sold an event concept, coincidence, pure coincidence, to LVMH. And from them, I work with L'Oréal, I work with Cartier, Montblanc, Richemont Group. So this is how I end up with the Vibe Agency.
Well, shame on you. You are quite a name dropper. Talking about Disney, Club Med, L'Oreal, Cartier, some of the biggest, most successful companies in the world. So the transition then, I guess it was very fortuitous in your destiny, so to speak, that you would start your own business. So tell us a little bit about what it's like to start a woman coming from another country, where you said your English was very little. It's very wonderful now. What were some of the challenges that you faced starting your own business?
I think first, one of the most important things is to listen and to observe what's going on around you, what's going on in your industry. I always been in public relation. So everything that I'm doing is through public relation. You need to identify, like on your hand, your 10th finger, you need to have a support in the industry and outside the industry that can help you to open doors. Because I think today it's all about relationship in our world. It's all about connection. You need to have connection to open door very fast and then to make it efficient. And this is how you will elevate yourself above the competition. You need to continuously educate yourself, challenge yourself, always how can you do better. You know, you can take an idea you have to somebody else, you have to make it better. And this is how you progress and you challenge yourself every day, I think.
And how you differentiate yourself from what you might want to call competition.
Yes.
So tell me then, what are some of the defining things that differentiate Valerie as the woman and Valerie as the president of Vibe Agency? How are you distinguished? How are you differentiated from among the competition?
So first, I think that I have a very international background because I'm not American today, even if I'm living in United States for 18 years. I used to work in Europe for more than 15 years. So basically, I really embody, you know, I embody the European culture and the American culture because now I'm for 18 years here, 15 years on the other side and everything. And a European is going, for example, an American has always a big picture of an event, okay? Where the European are going straight in the detail from the beginning. It's a very different way of working, but in the meantime, it's more challenging, but then you have less surprise on budget, on organization and everything. You know, it's more planning in advance. So I think this is a different way of working. And when I work with my American client, they are very surprised, but actually they are very happy because it's a different way of thinking, different way of working, and it's give other challenge, but they like it. So it's really a compliment, what usually I would say, because I bring this European touch with the American way right now, but people enjoy it, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like a very winning combination. Two words that you mentioned previously.
And then one thing that I think differentiate is I have an eye always on what's going on also in Europe. Europe and and Americas is very different. In Europe, there is things where they can be more advanced than we are in America and vice versa. So basically, I take the best on every country. And I think this is also help us to be different in a way.
So you have that multicultural experience and background, and you can perhaps offer suggestions or suggest to someone a different way of approaching a project or a different way of looking at it.
Yes.
That they might not have thought of, which is why you would be of such great value. So the two words that I was referring to that I think are so important, I want to go back. One of the words that you said is listen. I think that we cannot overstate the importance of listening, whether it's to a client, a family member, a child, a big client, what we hear on the news, what we don't hear on the news. I want to just to emphasize that, how important it is to listen to what your client is saying so you know the best way to serve that client. The other word that you mentioned was coincidence. And I thought, well, that's interesting because I am one who happens to believe that there really aren't a lot of coincidences in the world. I think there's a lot of destiny, and I think there's a lot of goals and visions that we meet, but I don't think a lot of it comes from coincidence. So do you think it was a coincidence that you were brought into event planning, or was it more about recognizing through the eyes of a third party, a former employer, that this is really where you belong?
I know this is where I belong because when I see and I ask myself where I will be in 5 years, I still see myself in the same industry. So this I know. I know I really embody my job. It's what makes me happy every morning when I woke up. I really believe in coincidence, and there is one word that you didn't say, but I believe really in it. I believe in luck.
Luck.
And luck, yes. But you know, more luck you have, more you need to ask for luck. So you know, you need to ask sometimes for the universe to have things happening and everything, to have some guidance, and things are happening, and it's always like a coincidence. You know, I worked for a company for Guerlain, and the girl heard about my name through a friend of hers, And then in the same office at that time, when she mentioned my name, somebody entered and say, "Are you with Valerie Bihet on the phone?" She say, "Yes." "Why?" "Oh, I know her. I met her like 10 years ago. She's amazing." It was a done deal. So it was my, you know what I mean? So I think this is also important, in my opinion.
I'm going to say something.
Destiny, it's work together.
Well, yes, yes. Yes, people think, oh, you're lucky because you're successful. You're successful because you're lucky, forgetting all the hours and the years and that you put into working to achieve those goals. So I guess in some way we create our own luck. You said you have to ask for it.
You can be a lucky person, yes, but you need to be good in what you do.
Sure.
Because you can be lucky at one time, but if you don't have the consistency, what is happening? You are not.
Luck can run out. Luck can be very short-lived, but skills and talent and a work ethic and dedication are infinite. So I'm sure you've had a lot of, or I assume, I should say, that you've had women come to you for advice. What kind of advice do you give to any woman, regardless of the type of a company that she might be thinking about starting? What's the best advice as a successful businesswoman you could give to another woman?
Make things happen, never give up, and there is always more than one way to solve an issue.
So be creative.
Yes. Passionate. Embody what you are doing.
Oh, yes. I believe in that.
Educate yourself constantly, because if you want to be up on the market and everything, you will be challenged. And I think the generation are going so fast that you need to educate yourself all the time. What's new in your industry? What's new around you? Where can you get your ideas from? Because this is evolving constantly. Today, it's like moving and changing. So I think it's important.
So what's next for the Vibe Agency and Valerie Bihet?
Oh, I'm going to Los Cabos Saturday morning, actually. I'm doing an event for Hermes in Los Cabos. And guess what? But after Los Cabos, I'm taking 2 weeks off. For the first time in like 5 years. I've been traveling so much and everything, and I'm taking a break. I'm taking a step back to rethink where I'm going next, and to re-energize myself, and to continue forward for the next 6 months of the year.
Good for you. Very important also that you take that time off and, as you say, re-energize. And I don't imagine for one moment that what you're calling taking time off, that your mind is still going to be working just as fast and just as creatively, right? It's just shifting your gears a little bit. So important that we do that we take care of ourselves so that we can take care of our families, our clients, our businesses, etc. So any big surprises having started your own business 20 years ago and being this successful? Does anything still surprise you?
Oh, I think, every day, every event is a surprise. It's a new challenge because you meet new people, you meet new character in a different cities, in a different venue. So in our industry, we are never bored. I think I'm doing this job and Vibe for 14 years now, and I still like it. It's still different. Every event is different. So I think we are very lucky for that, because, in other industry, they say that you learn your job after 2 or 3 years. You need to move around in the company to grow and everything. And in our industry, every event is very different. The way you work with people is different, because you need to adjust yourself to what they want. And this is when we were talking about listening. You need to get accustomed to the rules, the regulation, the way of working of each company you are working with, to make sure they will be happy. It's in our job, we have to be a chameleon. So our skin has to take and to get all the energy, all the culture, all the value of the client that we have. So when you work like 100 events a year, imagine I'm 100 chameleon, different chameleons. So I'm never bored, actually.
So what's your favorite color to be?
My favorite color is blue, actually. I'm a blue chameleon.
You're a blue chameleon. Okay, I think I am one as well. I can't wait to hear, number one, I want to say, what a pleasure to talk with you again. The success that you have, I don't think is just luck. I think it was your destiny. I think it's your work ethic, your passion, your skills, your motivation, your obvious talent and commitment to success. If that's how you spell luck, then okay. But I think there's a whole lot more to it than that. I want to catch up with you after your vacation.
With pleasure.
And hear, what did those 2 weeks, what did that expand your mind? What did you open your mind and your heart to for the future? And we can share that story the next time we chat. So have a wonderful vacation. Thanks for sharing time with us today and for the great inspiration that you are to other women, whether they're in business or thinking about being in business or questioning the business that they're in. You are such a perfect example of following the dream and creating your own luck. So thank you so much for sharing that with us today, Valerie.
Thank you. Bye, Beth. Bye-bye.
Well. Bye-bye now. Be well. Travel safely. And for all of us at the GSEW, thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing with Valerie, and we look forward to sharing your story soon. Have a wonderful day, and until the next time. Bye-bye now.
Bye.